Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Business Spotlight. I'm your host today, Todd Rodden. I'm a certified executive and business coach with Aspire Action Coach based in the Dayton, Ohio area. We're thrilled to have you join us. We're also excited to have Lisa Salzman here with us. Lisa is the CEO of FireTech Productions. She's been in a business leadership role for over 17 years now. I think you're going to learn how she is a very passionate learner and how she shares that with those around her. So if you're new to the Business Spotlight, we're thrilled to have you here with us. We encourage you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you'll receive future messages from business owners as we continue to build and share from our community of business leaders. So with that, Lisa, we're thrilled to have you join us here. Maybe take a minute, introduce yourself, and share a little bit about the story of FireTech Productions.
All right. Thank you, Todd. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking me to be here. I found in all aspects of what we do, there's always something to be learned, right? So although you're interviewing me, I would suspect I'll probably learn a thing or two from your questions as well. And so that's always exciting. So my name's Lisa Salzman. FireTech Productions is my company. I own that with a partner. I love having a business partner. I love the accountability and the brainstorming and the passion we both have in owning the company. FireTech, as we call it, it's FireTech Productions, but we call it FireTech, is a training company for the fire protection industry. And so think of facilities personnel, right? Our customer are those who install, inspect, and maintain the fire alarm and the fire sprinkler systems in buildings. So life safety, it's a big deal. Learning's important. So I got into fire tech and this interesting industry back in 2007. My background is computer science, and long story short, started my career, did some programming. One of the first big projects we did was basically a data management system. And once that project was complete, I volunteered to take on the training aspect of that. So developed a training program and then actually trained the end users. And I loved that. And that was great and kind of over here. Forgot about that, went on, really got into more of the IT world. We had a big product, had to port it to over 100 different platforms. And I wanted to stay technical, right? I felt like my technical knowledge was really important. So there were opportunities along the way to maybe go toward more business management, but I passed those, right? And focusing on, again, more of the technical aspect. So fast forward, my husband and I, we have 5 kids, right? So in the range of doing that, cut down my days, and eventually my role as a part-time IT person was cut. So I started just doing some consulting on my own. So it was a partner, a customer, and actually a friend who owned a fire protection company, and then had the idea to buy FireTech. So FireTech Productions has been around since 1987. But we bought it in 2007. Okay, 2007, we bought a tape, cassette, and workbook product. So what we really bought was great content in an unusable format. Right? So it's
tape
like
cassette.
So it was, right? We had this great stuff, and it's like, okay, so we kind of had to pivot from the beginning. Like, we knew we wanted to go online. We knew that would take time. But how do we get from there to there? I was fortunate in that, I had only been working part-time. So the immediate need for cash was not great. I had the knowledge and the ability to, but get the website back up, start, looking for a learning management system. So I had that ability to do things. And then my partner had the industry knowledge. So that's kind of how we got started.
We talked to, you've got a partner here. So how do you kind of balance the leaderships with the business with your partner? How do you kind of share in the wealth of the duties?
Yeah. So It was really easy because he was still full-time in his company, the fire protection business. So it was really me in my living room getting things started and up and running. But really, all from a business perspective, right? From the operations, from the marketing. I never really did the content. Started in doing a little bit of content, but quickly learned like we're gonna go nowhere fast if I'm doing this, right? So I just start bringing people in, subject matter experts, to help us.
So you talked through kind of your target audience, target customers, like think of like, facilities managers, building management groups, things like that. So how do you best market to them? What marketing strategies have worked for you to grow the business?
It's a great question, and never stop learning how to market because boy, it's changing quickly. I don't think it was changing as quickly in 2007, but today, I mean, what you do today may not work tomorrow, right? In the world of marketing. When I would just say when we had to sell from the get-go, right? We decided to go to CD, right? That was our first pivot. I'm not a salesperson. I didn't really understand what we sold. It was me talking to previous customers that gave me the knowledge to know that I was selling a great product, right? It was the belief in what we were offering that really helped. So, behind it all is the belief and passion in your product, and we have a great product. So marketing, we've done everything. Started in 2007, building an email list, right? So from ads to email to conferences, right? And then trying to measure the ROI is always an interesting thing, right? So sometimes you can put an ad in and see a sale and the ROI, but sometimes ROI comes from relationships and partnerships and just those things that are a bit more intangible. And through the years, it's like you can feel it. Like, well, I just feel like this is helping, but we've tried to let data, as we've grown, we've tried to bring data into the decision making as much as that feeling of knowing what's working.
So is there one particular strategy that you've had the last 3 years or so that has really paid off the most? You've seen the best ROI, and then conversely, what's a strategy that's out there you're testing, you're trying to figure out?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And I've honestly moved out of the marketing arena of what we're doing, right? So in growth, some things you got to let go. So like I said, there's a lot out there in marketing. And I don't know that there's any one thing. I think they all culminate together. A lot of what we do is e-commerce. We sell online courses, right? So the website obviously is going to be a huge aspect of what we do. We sell in-person courses as well, hands-on workshops. I think word of mouth, right? Like having a great product and just, it's a pretty small kind of niche industry, right? So just brand recognition has been important, and we're still very small. So, I don't know that I'm answering your question exactly, but I wouldn't say there's just one thing. Like you just got to try to do it all.
Hey, well, you shared some of the background, how you got started in 2007, kind of coming from kind of more technical based background, forming a partnership. Walk us through what's been on that journey now of almost 17 years. What's been the biggest challenge or two that you've had to overcome, and what did you learn from those?
Yeah, so it's been a great journey. And, in life, sometimes those things that are horrible turn out being great. So my partner and I decided to part ways in 2014. So when we parted ways, I had a technical degree. Computer science was my degree. I really had although we'd been growing the business, I really didn't have any business background, and I just felt like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? Right? I do this, the experience of running a big business was gone, and it was on my shoulders, and I do. So I took a course here in the Dayton, Ohio area, Aileron, right, the Clay Mathieu Foundation. So I went up and took a business course there, and it really helped, right? So later got into WeBank, and I took a 6-month program there, right? And later on got into Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small businesses. And really, you can almost see and feel just being more intentional, our growth, me learning. So the learning of what I have, it's what I've loved, like it's what I've loved. It's what I'm passionate about. I didn't think I'd like the business side, right? I always wanted to stay technical. So just learn. There's always more to learn. So, and I think that's been my greatest source of joy. And of course, the team and our customers. It's a great industry. So we have great customers. I mean, great people who are passionate about life safety. And, our instructors in that way. So meeting our instructors. So it's been wonderful.
You mentioned team. Maybe take a minute, kind of describe, kind of the size of your team, some of the kind of key skill sets you have, and what do you think are keys to being a leader?
So I think keys to being a leader is to continue learning, right? If I've learned one thing, I don't always do everything right. But I think our team knows that my heart, the owner's hearts, are in the right, are in the right place. We truly do what is, we want to do what is right for the business, right for our customers, right for our team. Have just learned the importance of culture and our core values. So we've had a variety of core values through the years. And we've boiled those down to 3 really simple words. And or 3 simple core values, I should say: customer first, easy button, and never stop learning. And really, if, when I think about everything we do, we can kind of boil everything down to that. And there's a lot of great core values out there and a lot of things, but just putting the customer first and making sure we always have empathy with the customer and try to help them get what they need, and listening to the customer, right? And then the easy button goes both ways. That's internal in the team and being an easy button for our customer, right? So from finding something on the website to how we react to them on the phone. And then never stop learning is just what kind of seems like, well, duh, we're a training company, right? We want our customers to keep learning, but we want to keep learning as well, both about them and then the industry. So our team, and you had asked about the size of our team, and we're growing. I think we're 16, 17 people, and we have a variety of partners and subject matter experts. Our instructors are in the field, right? So they're out there, boots on the ground, day after day, and then they'll take a few days off and come and help us on our hands-on workshops. So I love that about our instructors, right? They're just they may not be professional speakers, but when they start speaking, our students know, like, they know what they're talking about, right? They live it. So and then one more thing on the team, like, we're nowhere without the team, right? That's who's gotten us here. And I believe they all live and value our core values.
Okay. Well, I love the core values. They all kind of ring true. I think the easy button one in particular gives a great visual for most of us, right? And you mentioned that's both external and internal. So maybe take a second, if you could, kind of share what's that mean internally, and how you live out that easy button internally with your team.
Sure. So, this is something I often say, like, I don't keep going to these classes because I'm great at everything, right? Like, I can learn and improve every day myself. So even as something as simple as sending an email, right? Rather than saying, like, hey, do this, or something like, you know what? I know I have the document up. Let me put the link in there, right? Just something as simple as that. How can I make what I'm asking somebody easier for them to do, so they don't have to go digging for the answer or a link? In our digital world, boy, right? There's things in Outlook, there's things in Teams, there's things on SharePoint, like, oh my gosh, and right, just trying to processes, simplifying things, right? Being easy, giving our customer all the data they need, even though we gave it to them in the last email, maybe repeat it, because then it's right there at their fingertips and they don't have to go digging for it. So those are kind of the ways I kind of envision using that easy button.
So if it's like, hey, you care enough, whether it's about a customer or about a teammate, right, with another employee, you care enough to take that extra 2 minutes to go put that link or give a little bit extra explanation in something, so it makes their next step easier.
Right.
Good. So as you look out there, you're focused on learning. What's the thing you're trying to learn next? I'm sure I can tell you're passionate, so you're trying to take it all in. But is there like one category, one theme, one topic that right now, what, I'm really pinpointing it on that?
What am I trying to learn next? I am passionate about learning, and I love learning. And sometimes I find that I'm like, I just have to put a stop on learning, right? Because I have so many things that I'm looking at or doing, like, okay, let's just take a little breath, restart. And like I said, I've taken a variety of courses through the years. We are self-implementing EOS, right? So entrepreneurial operating system, right? That's given us a structure, a framework to live by. So always trying to learn more there. As a self-implementer, it's helped from the get-go. They'll say, just if you do one thing, right, it's going to help. And it's true. So some things I think we're doing well, and other things we're still learning. And sometimes you have those kind of light bulb moments when you're like, oh my gosh, this is what they've been trying to say. And it finally clicks. On the marketing side, we follow story brand. I love that, right? The customer is the hero. We're the guide, right? So always envisioning. Yep. Right now, I'm also doing the strategic coach program. So, and boy, just he's great. Just some of his one-liners, and just those. I love a quote, right? Things that make you kind of think. Like, and I read a book, Rethink. I loved that book, right? Because how do we get caught up in our own beliefs, and how do we stop and take time to reflect enough to rethink? Because, right, sometimes we make problems harder than they need to be. So how do we rethink? I don't know if I'm answering your question exactly, Todd, but
I think you're sharing some examples of kind of other great folks to follow, to plug into as well. So as you think back now, that's your learning. I mean, look towards the business with FireTech. What's the top challenge you and the team are trying to take on currently?
Oh, well, what's the top challenge? I'd say, is it relates to business, right? You're looking at people, you're looking at processes, you're looking at the product. I think we have a strong product. Our customers, I had written down a couple quotes their customers would say. Our customers would say, if you really want to learn, go to FireTech, right? We have an in-depth product. A lot of what we do is exam prep for a national certification, but we consider passing the exam the icing on the cake, right? Because the real goal is to learn and understand the standards and the codes that support this industry, and they change every 3 years. So, and I've kind of gone off on a tangent again and not really answering your question. So can you repeat it? I'm so
Yeah, yeah,
sorry.
sure.
Yeah.
No problem. So what's the largest challenge you and the team
Oh
are
yeah,
taking
yeah. Several
on?
large
Whether
challenges.
it's growth or how to, attract people
Yeah. So then I
or
started
profitability,
talking.
you name it, right?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. So I started talking about a product. So I think our product is strong, but we are constantly developing, right? Because like I said, those codes and standards every 3 years are changing. So for us, development never stops, right? We're not a training company that's like, oh, here's a product, we're done. Like there's constant development all the time. So always focusing on that. And then on the operational side, the processes, right? So that's there's a whole EOS book on processes, right? So we've been focusing on that and getting those right. And then on the business development side, marketing and sales, always focusing on that. And I said at the beginning, I think marketing is rapidly changing in the digital aspect of that. So I don't know that any of those are a larger focus than others. We've gotten to the point that we have some people segmented, focusing in those areas. And then the communication between the three, right, is super important. So, right, the right hand knows what the left hand's doing. And, COVID took us into a remote world. So that was really something we heard from the team. Like, it's hard. We were all in an office together and everybody knew everything. And then everybody feels like they're on an island, right? So just making sure the communication was there.
So what's your vision? You look 3, 5 years down the road. What's your dream for the business?
Right. So to continue to grow, right, both on the team side, perhaps different product lines, different partnerships, just continuing to train the industry. So we see a large exit, right, of people going toward retirement. So I talked to a lot of business owners and managers on the phone, and training's critical, right, for what these companies are providing to their clients. So just to continue to grow and train as many people as we can with great products.
So as you've got 17 years of business leadership experience. You've invested a lot in your own growth and learning. It sounds like with the team. What's any other advice you'd give to business owners who are kind of newer in their journey? Maybe some of that. We have a lot of viewers out there. They're just a year or two into their business ownership journey.
Yeah. So the advice: hang on and enjoy the ride. I'll ask my business partner, I'm like, so where's your roller coaster today? I think at one point I was naive enough to think that like at some point we're going to feel like, we've got it. And it still amazes me how one day it can seem like the sky is falling and the next day you're on cloud 9, right? It's just different things hit you. Just do the right thing, hang on. And getting ready for this, you had asked something about the key to success, right? So that was just something I was thinking of. And I think that's different for everybody, right? It's like one of those, you'll see an article like, oh, the key to success. I want to know what it is so I can have it, right? But it's individual. And so for me, success isn't like getting to a number or getting to a place, but it's really, I feel like personally, I feel successful because I had the excitement to keep moving forward, right? I love what I do. So, so for those business owners, like, love the journey, right? You're gonna have great days and bad days. And sometimes those bad days turn into great days down the road, right? Mm-hmm. So we're just, you can redefine yourself, you can redefine your future. Dan Sullivan from Strategic Coach would say you can redefine your past. Like, I love that thought. Redefine my past, right? Looking at those things that we used to look as a detriment, we're like, no, they really built me and made me who I am today. So
yeah, I wouldn't be here where I am today if that
exactly.
hadn't happened, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Painful as it might have been at the time.
Yep.
So for those viewers out there, how can they best stay connected with you and FireTech? The places they should follow, plug into?
Yeah, so firetech.com, firetech.com is our website. So please visit us. My email is Lisa, Lisa at firetech.com. And I love talking business and leadership. So yeah, send me a note and let's chat.
All right. So as we wrap up, final question, Lisa, what are you inspired by today?
Ooh, what am I inspired by? I think I'm inspired by people who don't give up and people who keep learning, right? When you see people who, I mean, like you, Todd, right? You had a full career. It sounded like a very successful career, and you're still learning, right? You're still venturing out. So there's always something to learn and do, right? Whether it's a hobby or business is maybe my hobby. Sometimes I think I got to find a hobby, and then I think, well, why? I love what I do. So just those who keep on learning and keep on trying, give it their best day after day.
Well, what a great way to wrap up. So, and obviously just a passionate learner on top of being an outstanding leader. So, Lisa, thank you for sharing the story. Again, encourage those our viewers out there to go out and check out the website at firetech.com. You can also connect with her on LinkedIn. She even gave her email. Not everyone gives out her email. That's a connected leader right there as well. And again, for our viewers, hope you gained a lot. Confident you did gain a lot from Lisa's message here today. Encourage you to like this session, as well as subscribe to the channel to receive future learnings from other business leaders as well. So again, thank you all. Thank you, Lisa, and I hope you all have a terrific day.
Okay. Thank you, Todd. Thanks for asking.